he has been really good for this team, really good for the organization. One of the forces that have brought them from a joke of a franchise as far as their on court stuff to a 2 seed who is now in the chase slightly for Kevin Durant.
Ime Udoka has agreed to a long-term contract extension that will make him one of the highest-paid coaches in the NBA.
Whatever that means, because we don't really get coaches' salaries,
but he's up there.
Well taken care of, Ime Udoka.
Not going to the Knicks.
That is a very college football move for the Rockets. Someone comes calling for your coach who unlike college football, you actually can block you can block that team from talking to your coach. In this case, they could block Ime from talking to him. But even with that, they're like, hey, he's valued. Let's give him more money. Master plan by Ime. Hey, I spent some time in New York with Brooklyn. Maybe know some people over there. You guys want to do me a favor? Call the Rockets. Call Rafael Stone. Call Tillman. Tell him we'd love to talk to him. And then you get to negotiating in my conspiracy. But he has been really good for this team, really good for the organization. One of the forces that have brought them from a joke of a franchise as far as their on court stuff to a 2 seed who is now in the chase slightly for Kevin Durant. I'm not sure they are going to be heavily involved if the price remains the same for Phoenix, but they're an attractive spot for teams, or at least for players.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant among them. We will see how that plays out. There's nothing to report, so that's why I haven't talked about it today. Same status that it was yesterday.
Yeah, we'll take the day off on KD.
We're not going to get into how he fits or how much it'll take.
What about these guys?
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah,
Nothing's changed.
It's not a thing for the day. But what has happened is that the Rockets have rewarded their coach, and rightly so, because they were rudderless, it felt like. No matter what they thought the plan was, at least under Steven Silas, and it's not even a shot at Silas. People like to take shots at him because of the difference between the teams, between him and Ime. But Steven Silas was brought on initially to coach a veteran team that had James Harden on it until that fell apart right before his eyes. And now he was stuck trying to coach a young team who had little to no experience of winning basketball games in the NBA, and he wasn't ready for that spot. So that's at least my autopsy of the Steven Silas era. He was miscast before he could even get going, just because of the destruction of the roster because James wanted out. Of course, Russ was out, and PJ Tucker wanted out. All those guys wanted out. It's not what he signed up for. But either way, times have changed. Ime Udoka knew what he was getting into, and he has flipped the perception of this team in the city and overall. The Rockets used to be a team people joked about.
Yeah,
just took craps on, whether it be the fan base because of how they acted during the Rockets Warriors back and forth about MVPs, and of course Daryl Morey sending long missives to the NBA about fouls. There wasn't a lot of respect, and certainly that doesn't really matter. It's all about what happens on the court. But there wasn't a lot of respect for the Rockets around the league for multiple reasons. Throw in people didn't like how James Harden played. That played a part as well. Yeah. But now I haven't heard a negative thing said about the Rockets as a franchise the last couple of years, and really there should be no reason to. The question now is all about what's on the court, and can they find the solution to one of their biggest problems is half-court offense. And whoever that may be that will fix it, I welcome them, because we saw in the playoffs that was a giant problem. But Ime Udoka got them to a point where they're a 2 seed, and the Rockets have rewarded them for that.
It is crazy to think that Udoka just finished his third year as a head coach
overall, yeah,
in his career. Like, because the Celtics stuff just kind of you forget that it was one season with the Celtics.
They made the finals, and we just assumed it would be him and Tatum and Brown forever.
Yeah.
As they tried to finally get over the hump, and He was gone because some off the court stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so it will be interesting what happens, and like you said, the perception shift with the Rockets organization, like the line in the sand is when they brought in Ime Udoka, and he immediately made them a much more serious outfit.
Yeah. Tillman, as much as he's done for the University of Houston, every time I heard Tillman Fertitta's name brought up in connection with the Rockets before Ime got here, it was not in a positive way. They questioned a lot of his decisions. Was he a serious owner? You know, he's a very public figure. Because he had outside businesses, so Tillman would make appearances in different spots that weren't basketball related, and people would hear him and crush him. Some of that stuff has certainly died down. It's funny how, hey, winning basketball games on the court changes people's opinion of you overall. But there it is. Ime Udoka will sign a long-term extension if he hasn't done it already with the Rockets. So they take care of him.